Good day to everybody. Uh, Sorry I hadn't been on sooner. I battled the flu most of last week. Um, I take that back. I battled the flu for about a day and a half, and then kids got sick too, so I was taking care of them. Uh, so here I am, and this morning started off kind of rough. I kind of took a tumble down the steps, so that kind of sucked a little bit. But yeah, I talked to Hawk last night, and he said he was going to try to come on today to do his thing with me because he's got a lot of work to be done out there at the farm. So we'll see how everything goes there. I want to go through real quick and say hello to everybody. So we have, well, first of all, let me see if I'm streaming over on Rumble. I got to make sure here. So anyway, I apologize in advance for the let's see here. It should be live, so let me see if it is. So let's see here. All right, so it looks like we are live. So we're good on Rumble, and I should be on X also. So let's get this going. So we have now and then. She posted yesterday on the Rumble channel as far as everything went. She said, or thank you. Look forward to it. I'm going to watch all your previous videos between now and tomorrow. We have Joe Carroll Dodds, Patrick Kelly, Joanne, Chester's Insight, Lisa Anderson, Justin Rose, Lisa Bama by the Bay, Dog Mom, Estua, Pamela Barone, Georgia Pappas, and that's all I can see in chat so far. So, yeah, Bubba Morris, good to see you. So we're going to go over a few things here, and we're going to, well, just go over a few things, I guess, and give you my insight on what I think is going on as far as the drones in Jersey, and also the XRP stuff. Because I know people are probably shitting bricks right now. Oh my God, XRP dropped. But I still think it's going to go up. I think we're going to be, because there's a lot of people shorting it. I think there's a possibility that we're going to be looking at another GameStop incident from this last year when they started shorting GameStop really bad, and people caught on to it and started buying. It cost the hedge funds, I believe it was around $50 billion. So I think we're going to be seeing that with the XRP stuff as far as that goes. That's just my personal opinion. It's not financial advice of any kind. But I can tell you that when it was dropping, I was still buying XRP. So we got more people that's come in. It looks like we've got Angel Rose, Stella, Ann Creighton, and Mike MQ. Good to see everybody. So, yeah, I'm just going to kind of try to be kind of chill today. and go from there, I guess. So let me go into my feeds real quick. Now, I downloaded something. I'm going to post it to X in a little bit. It was a skit on SNL. And if you look at the background, it reminds me of the video that was posted with Stephen Colbert and that little boy. I think I played it on here before. It's sickening. I don't want to play it again. But there's some similarities there, it looks like, as far as the background goes. So it's probably not the same. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying there's similarities. So let's see here. Let me go into my bookmarks here. And you know how I'm always picking on Todd Young? Well, I had sent a thing through the crypto stuff for him to vote on something or yeah, well, anyway. And I actually got a response back. That is the first response I got back in the 3 years that I've been trying to get a hold of him. So that tells me he's all about money and not about the people. So that kind of pisses me off a little bit, actually quite a bit. So let's see here. All right. So let me see where I want to start here. Has everybody heard about let me find it here. The ActBlue investigation. Has everybody heard about that? So let's see here. All right. So from Speaker Mike Johnson. ActBlue is accepting foreign gift cards until September. This is illegal. The House Admin Committee will continue this important investigation into ActBlue next Congress. Our work here is just getting started. Now, if we remember, about 6 months ago, something like that, ActBlue is in the headlines again because they were soliciting donations, or there was donations coming in from people that hadn't even donated to ActBlue. If you remember, because it was a way for them to, you know what? Let me do it this way. I'm going to go to the X website instead because I can't blow the app up. So there we go. But if we remember, they've been in deep shit this year already. So I really think that we're going to be seeing a lot more coming as far as that's concerned. Let me pull this up here. There it is. All right. So let me do it right here. All right. Let's see here. So let me go ahead and enlarge this so everybody can see it. So, and this was from Just the News also. ActBlue bombshell, Democrat fundraising platform tells Congress it didn't block foreign gift cards until the fall. So we already knew that, though. As a matter of fact, because of that post, I posted my down the money hole video on Rumble, so everybody could see what was going on with there and who some of the donors were. So I just posted that last night, so you should be able to see it up there now. So let me go back here. And then also, let's see here. The NDAA passes with $500 million of foreign aid, $9 billion of new money. Lots of confusion. You all didn't vote for this. All right, thanks, Lisa. So we're going to watch this thing with Tim Burchett here, and let's see what he has to say. All right, I'm being told there's no sound here, so let me go back. Let me do it this way, because I think I forgot to share the audio. There we go. Let's try it now. All right, let's try it again, shall we? All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leaving the house floor. It's raining, and I can go this way and do my video and not be. Hey, we just passed the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. I voted against it. There's $500 million in there, literally, of foreign aid, and that's kind of what y'all, in such large numbers, against. Tired of us being everywhere. There's they allow you to travel for abortions, or they paid or whatever to move you around so you can get that. There's just the transgender language. I was told by a couple of attorneys on the House floor was poorly written. I think it had some holes in it. And to make it all matters worse, $9 billion new dollars. Send it over the Senate. It comes back with all that added on. You remember the Pentagon has not passed an audit. They're on their 7th or 8th one that they haven't passed. We got to do better in this. This is not what you all voted for. And you have members, you have family members that are lobbyists on this stuff. I mean, it is just totally awful. Anyway, we'll keep fighting. But y'all got to hold us accountable. Thank y'all so much for sending me here.
So, and this is my question: how are they making new money without money? Kind of a paradox, don't you think? So, it's interesting. Let's see here. And Dave played this last night, so everybody see this where Colby Covington was basically telling LeBron James he was a piece of shit. Everybody see that? I'll go ahead and play it. What the hell? It is sad. It is. It is really sad what politicians are doing to our country. And it's not just the politicians. See, the politicians are just puppets, okay, for these big corporate conglomerates that control everything and PACs that control everything. It's not just the politicians. Let's be real about this. I mean, a good example of that is APAC. Look at how many politicians APAC owns. Look at how many politicians BlackRock owns, Vanguard. So it's amazing of how people are like, oh, well, I can't believe the government's doing this. It's not just the government. And that's the thing. It's these big corporate conglomerates. And until we get rid of the PACs and until we get rid of the big corporate PACs that pay off the politicians, you know, um, nothing's really going to change as far as that goes. And I think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Kennedy and basically all of Trump's picks, I think that's what they're going to try to do away with, because we need to be, our Constitution is written of the people, by the people, and for the people, so that way the government could represent the people, where the people had controlling interest in the government, not the politicians having controlling interest of the people. So I just wanted to, sorry for the little tangent there, but so, all right. So this was put out by Breaking 911. MMA fighter Colby Covington. I want to ask LeBron, what does he mean there's no party like a Diddy party? Is that the reason you left social media? LeBron, you're a sick scumbag, and I hope you get locked up in the same cell with Diddy. Let's go ahead and play this.
I'm gonna start this off, since I'm the man of the hour, the man of the show. I want to ask LeBron, what does he mean by there's no party like a Diddy party? I truly want to know. And not only that, LeBron, how many Diddy parties have you actually been to? I'm really curious to know. And is that the reason you left social media? Because all the backlash you were getting for going to so many Diddy parties? It's just pathetic, man. People think this guy's a role model. He wants to defund the police, the most patriot people of America, serving and protecting our country. LeBron, you're a fucking scumbag, and I hope you get locked up in the same cell with Diddy.
Yeah, he didn't beat around the bush, did he? Oh, hey, John Dunning, Navy vet, good to see you. I know you've been in here for a little bit. I've seen the chat. Let's see, is there anybody else I missed? I think I got it. Oh, Pappy Two Bears. Good to see you. So, there's something I want to go over, and I'm going to go over a couple of drops, which is really interesting because, we've been seeing a lot more of the Obama and the Clintons coming into the spotlight again. And these posts, I mean, it just, and I'll show you how I got there. I mean, it was just really interesting. Hello at Amy Niana. So yeah, I mean, it's just really interesting. And then on top of that, 50 Cent posted this on Instagram yesterday. So let's go over this. So, 50 Cent, if you remember, not long ago, he was talking about Diddy and all that stuff. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So it's going to get interesting, I think, here pretty quick. And I think now going into the drone thing, okay? Going into the drone thing. The drone thing, I seen it blamed on Iran. And then we had the Defense Department coming out and saying, oh, no, it's not Iran. It's not Iran. It's not ours either, but it's not Iran's. But now here's my question. None of this really started happening until names were getting released from the Diddy list. And by the way, I'm going to go into that a little bit more here in a second, but the Diddy list, a lot of those names that are coming out were also included in a lawsuit that was Latham v. 1953 Trust. So I just wanted to make that known because a lot of folks don't realize that. Jay-Z's on there, Beyonce's on there, Diddy's on there, I think. And then there's corporations on there. There's also John and Jane Doe's 1 through 100 and corporate Doe's 1 through 100. So very interesting stuff. I'll pull it up here in a little bit so that way you guys can see it. So Secretary of State Anthony Blinken admits that the Taliban received U.S. dollars, but dismisses it as a small percentage. This is put out from a leading report from Tim Burchett. So let's see here. All right. So new people we got coming in real quick. We've got Ann Garvey, Awaken Trillium, and Jersey Joe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's go ahead and play this thing with Tim Burchett here.
Legend, an Afghan American and former U.S. Army non-commissioned officers traveled to Afghanistan after the collapse and reports that the Taliban has been benefiting from U.S. cash shipments sent to the Afghan Central Bank. This is American funds, and that was sanctioned, and that sanctioned terrorists are diverting U.S. aid meant for the Afghan people. Why are we giving the Taliban millions in taxpayers' dollars while they hold Americans hostage and are killing the Afghan people? And in my opinion, sir, they will hate us for free. We don't need to giving them money.
We're not giving the Taliban anything. As I discussed with Congressman Mast, we are providing money, as many other countries are, to UN agencies, NGOs, to help the Afghan people.
And these agencies are funding the Taliban. Reports are saying between 40 and 80 million U.S. tax dollars are given to the Taliban every dadgum week. I mean, is that acceptable?
According to the report that I read and that Congressman referred to, the CIGAR's report, of the approximately $8 billion that the international community, including the United States, has dedicated to Afghanistan, about $10 million of that is 0.1%, has no doubt gotten to the Taliban. In terms
I don't care if it's a dadgum
utilities.
penny. I don't care if it's a penny. I mean, for you to sit up here and admit that our enemies, I mean, these people swear to hate Christians and Jews, and that takes care of about everybody in this dadgum room. And we're sending them, I don't care if it's 1%, and you can, but let me tell you, $10 million is a hell of a lot of money to people I represent.
So Blinken, we don't give money to the Taliban. We give it to the NGOs, but the NGOs give it to the Taliban, which is what Tim Burchett was saying. So, sounds like we're giving money to the Taliban, right? And what does it say in the Constitution? How is treason defined in the Constitution? by providing aid and comfort to the enemy. Last I checked, Taliban was our enemy, right? Yes, and Creighton, I did see about the pallets of cash in Syria. So I'm just saying, all of these things, and then we come back to the Uranium One thing, which I'm going to go over in a little bit because it ties in with the dig I did on the Biden press release earlier. Let's go into Uranium One for a minute. Uranium One is where Hillary Clinton, with the blessing of multiple departments within the government, by the way, sold uranium to Russia. Okay? Now, how many times have we been told? I would say probably since the 60s, 50s, and 60s. Well, because of the Cold War, right? How many times have we been told that Russia was our enemy? How many times? Just curious. How many times? Probably more than we can count, right? So if Russia is our enemy, why are we selling them uranium? That is the very definition of treason, because they can use the uranium not only as an energy source, but they can also use it to make nukes. So why are we doing that? Why did that happen? Once again, the very definition of treason. So let's go there. So, and then we also have how the Biden-Harris DOJ targeted pro-life activists in a December 18th hearing that'll be next week. Witnesses include Paul Vaughn, a pro-life father of 11 arrested by the FBI at gunpoint in front of his family. Weaponization against the American people. And we got to remember, Ray just signed his resignation letter saying that he's going to resign with the turnover to the new administration. So is he sticking around so that way he can keep doing this right here, going after people? I know the board say trust Ray, but I don't trust him. So here we go. Let's go ahead and play this.
But if you're not going to let me, then I'll just.
No, I want to know why you were banging on my door with a gun. You're not going to tell me anything?
No, I tried.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did not try. This is not acceptable. Can I have your name? You're not going to give me your name. You're not going to give me any information.
So, okay, so witnesses will include Paul Vaughn, a pro-life father of 11, arrested by the FBI at gunpoint in front of his family. That's what this video was, right here. Okay, and the December 18th hearing is going to include him as one of the witnesses. So that's one of the things. I mean, the federal government under the regime, I'm not even going to call it an administration, it was a regime, it was a tyrannical regime, has targeted the American people based on belief, based on values, and based on their political ideologies, because they dare to question the status quo. Quite honestly, I'm surprised I haven't had a knock on my door yet. So it's what's been going on, and it's one of those things that is going to be corrected. So let's see to it that this all gets corrected, shall we? So this attorney did a breakdown of the Jay-Z case, and let's just say he's cooked. So let's go ahead and play this real quick, and let's talk about it, because I'm going to go ahead and pull up the court case that I was talking about earlier, Latham v. the 1953 estate. So let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Carter's doing here. It makes no sense to me. Sean Carter, i.e. Jay-Z, gets named now as the main defendant in a rape case out of New York by trial attorney Tony Busby. We're seeing Sean Carter come out now and defend himself online, putting out statements. The thing that pops up is not immediately innocence and guilt. It's how did it get this far? Carter starts attacking Tony Busby, saying, hey, he sent me a demand letter and he's trying to extort me. Well, newsflash, and Jay-Z's people know this, that every lawsuit starts with a demand letter. Everybody gets put on notice that they have a claim and gives them an opportunity to resolve. Now, if you believe in your innocence, that's fine. But here, what does innocence have to do with this? He has too much exposure going forward. These are heinous allegations. He even says it himself. Now you're getting tied to Sean Combs, who's indicted and standing trial for racketeering and extortion cases, just horrific stuff, RICO violations. And now Carter's brand is being brought into this, is being alleged that he raped a 13-year-old. I hear you. I understand the defenses. If you're Sean Carter, hey, 24 years ago, you have an anonymous source, an anonymous victim. It looks like it's just a shakedown by an ambulance attorney. Well, look at it on the other side. Do you really think Tony Busby, who's a powerhouse trial attorney out of Houston, Texas, who's taken down monster verdicts and literally just got appointed by the attorney general to take on investment firms on behalf of Texas, moves forward on a lawsuit if it's a bluff? It just doesn't make sense to me. You got to believe that Busby would say, hey, look, I'm not going to allow this case to come down to a he said, she said. Busby knows that the anonymous victim is going to have to be disclosed. They know this anonymous victim is going to have to take depositions. So there has to be more evidence. A bluff would be, hey, I sent you a demand letter saying that we believe you caused these injuries to my client. We're asking for this much money. You say no, and nothing happens. Busby didn't do that. He called his bluff and he took it public. And in fact, he went as far as to say, you know what, we're amending the complaint where we had you as celebrity A that was watching the rape, but now we have enough evidence and believe you were the one who actually committed the rape. Now, John Carter's team will attack that and they're going to say, you didn't even know what you were doing. But my point is, this can't be a bluff. And my point is, I don't understand what Jay-Z is doing coming out in the public. He's putting out these statements that Busby's going to use against him. Literally, Carter is saying he represents the heinous nature, he understands it, and that it rises to the level that it's so bad because it's rape that it should be a criminal prosecution. I could think of nothing better as a trial attorney to use those words against the defendant in a deposition. Remember, you're in the civil context. Busby's going to be able to depose everybody. He's going to be able to get to Combs. He's going to be able to get to Carter. He's going to be able to get to witnesses. They're talking about limousine drivers. Now, yes, there may be a victim issue, but at the end of the day, everybody says, hey, this was 24 years ago. Yeah, let me know how that turned out for a Bill Cosby. the end of the day, I don't understand why Carter's people are letting him get out there and plead this innocence. I get it from a position that you want to get out in front of the jury, you want to claim your innocence. I just think that they're messing up with the wrong tactic by trying to attack the trial lawyer, because this is not a shakedown of Vontae's situation. This is a real heavyweight lawyer that knows what he's doing. And Sean Carter better be real careful.
So, did anybody pick up on the example he used as far as Bill Cosby and what happened there? Oh, it was 24 years ago. Well, yeah. Well, how did that work out for Bill Cosby? He still went to prison, right? So, yeah. So, and speaking of the Diddy stuff, I want to play this, and then I'll go into the court case I was telling you guys about that I've gone over many times over the last couple of years. So let's go ahead and play this real quick.
I just want to say,
You're doing so good. You're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Thanks, MTV Rock! I won the MTV Movie Award.
Come to the after party tomorrow. Yeah!
Come to the after party tomorrow. Yeah!
So, does anybody know who that girl is? Because I can tell you. Her name is Davy. Dang it. Crap. But she was the little girl from the movie The Ring from 2002. And at the time of this award, that Diddy invited her to that party, she was 12. So, creepy. Lisa, I will be going into that in a little bit. That's exactly what I was talking about. But yes. So, I mean, 12. And he was inviting her to a Diddy party. Now, did anybody else notice who that other character was? It's Ashton Kutcher. Didn't we hear about him too? Yeah. Creepy. Now let's go down here. Pull this up over here. Dang it. There we go. All right. So here we have Latham v. the 1953 Trust. I said estate. It's really trust. It's kind of the same thing, but not. So we have the 1953 Trust, the defendant. So that is the Epstein estate. Okay. Then we've got Harvey Weinstein, Sean Carter. Isn't that Diddy? Or not yet. No, it's Jay-Z, I think. Yeah, it's Jay-Z. Darren Endike, Richard Kahn, the Weinstein Corporation, Miramax Films, the Walt Disney Company, Def Jam Recordings, Rock Nation, Universal Music Group, Beyond. Oh, wait. Could it be Beyonce Knowles? Then we have Kanye West. We've seen a lot of him lately, haven't we? Terrence Thornton, Black Cube Limited, Vivendi, Saudi Arabia. Dwayne Carter. Anybody know who Dwayne Carter is? I can tell you, it's Lil Wayne. Jean-Luc Brunel, we've heard a lot about him too. Young Money Entertainment, good music. Shelley Massenberg Smith, David Boys, R. Kelly, Milton Brown, Marcello Clower, the Sprint Corporation, Viacom, CBS, Virgil Abloh, Qatar Investment Authority, Tudor Saliba Corporation, Ghislaine Maxwell, the City of New York, the New York City Police Department, Sir Philip Green, Sony Entertainment, John Doe's 1 through 100, Jane Doe's 1 through 100, and Corporate Doe's 1 through 100. So, although this has been formally dismissed in the Southern District of New York, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have merit. Because look at what we're seeing now. A lot of the same names that we're seeing on this list right here, we're seeing coming out in the news now in the Diddy case. And we're also going to be seeing a lot of the same names from the Epstein case coming out too. So it's, and I'm just going to read a couple of things out of here so that way you guys can kind of get a gist here. The Doe defendants, including corporations and their executive or involved personnel, are fully included in this action. The Doe defendants represent employees, partners, collaborators, vendors, third parties, heirs, and related entities whose identities and specific criminal roles have been intentionally concealed or withheld by the defendants to prevent their being brought to justice by being named in this and other civil complaints, while intentionally being made unavailable to the plaintiffs of this action to avoid redress. So now if we go down here to number 5, over the course of decades, the defendants established a lucrative but sociopathic criminal enterprise where the defendants engaged in decades of human trafficking, sexual assaults, and various abuses, including financial and economic exploitation, drugging for abduction, and taking plaintiffs John and Jane Doe 1 through 10 hostage. So the defendants engaged in this criminal act and sociopathic conduct as a form of specific criminal intentions designed as sexual harassment, extortion, physical torture, psychological torment, and revenge, targeting plaintiff number 3 for her refusal to sell her child, plaintiff number 1, or children, John and Jane Doe, plaintiffs, to the defendants 1 through 3. When plaintiff number 3 refused to sell or allow the defendants in any capacity to sexually abuse or financially exploit plaintiff number 1 or any of her or other children and grandchildren, represented as John and Jane Doe plaintiffs 1 through 10, at any time, the defendants began targeting the family for economic abuses and financial exploitation that not only consisted of drugging the children of plaintiffs 2 and 3 for sex trafficking and hostage taking and related to abuse, but also began exploiting the plaintiffs for thefts of trade secrets, intellectual property, and tortious interference in the plaintiff's career and economic opportunities. So, like I said, even though that case was dismissed, it doesn't mean it's not without merit. I just want to say that. All right, so we've got some more folks coming into chat here. We've got Deadpool Snipes, Swana Watcher, Echo, 210 Stacks, and Parkside. and John Mack. And I think we're caught up. If I didn't mention you, just let me know, and I'll get you up there I'll put you up on the screen here. So I'm just saying, this isn't just one thing. This isn't just a handful of people. No. It's 2/3 of Hollywood. It's 2/3 of government officials, to include judges, by the way. And it's also these big name, music people. So, I mean, it's one of those things people, they're just kind of getting a taste of what's to come now. So, oh man, I mean, it's just unreal. So, and if you want, I can pull that back up, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Give me just a second here. And I am going to pull it up. Yeah, it's fine, Lisa. So let's see here. No, I didn't. Give me a second. I got to find it. Okay, here it is. So let me pull this over here. All right. So this is the dismissal. Pursuant to the order issued September 18, 2020, dismissing the complaint, it is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the complaint is dismissed under Title 28 United States Code at Section 1915, subsection E, 2, and BI. The court certifies under Title 28 United States Code that any appeal from the court's judgment would not be taken in good faith. It is further ordered that the clerk of the court mail this judgment to the plaintiff and note the service of the docket. And we have Louis L. Stanton as the judge. Now, if we look here, let me pull it up again. If we look, she actually filed a complaint with the chief judge. And here we go. And then when Latham found out that the case was dismissed, she sent this letter. As of December the 2nd, 2020, plaintiff was given notice that 20 CV 7102 case was closed and that she, Charlene Latham, would need to request an appeals packet to obtain a copy of the order dismissing the case. No information was given regarding the nature of the dismissal. Plaintiff requested permission to submit documents and receive email communication for this matter at the time of filing the case. No notice of pandemic measures allowing email submissions from pro se filers was provided or made known, despite plaintiff asking for such information or permission from the court prior to filing. This is a formal request for an appeals packet, including the order dismissing the case and attached consent form granting consent to electronic service. So here's the electronic consent form and all that good stuff, right? So now if we go back here, after she filed the complaint, this is what the chief judge had sent her. The court has received and reviewed the plaintiff's notice of pending case action dated June 10, 2022, under docket entry number 6. To the extent plaintiff seeks action based on her allegations of judicial misconduct. So she was saying, hey, the judge was not conducting himself right, and oh man, the plaintiff's request is improperly directed to the undersigned in her capacity as chief judge, because such complaints are properly directed to the clerk of the court of appeals for the circuit. No, I don't know about that, because the chief judge is actually in charge of everybody, if I'm not mistaken. To the extent plaintiff is requesting that the undersigned make or alter any rulings in the above case, the request is denied. The chief judge does not have the authority to take such action of a signed case of other members of the court. And that is true. It has to be an appeals court, but so, and then there's another one that I wanted to bring up here. I closed out of the thing here, so let me pull it up here. Let's see here. I gotta find it. Is this it? It might be. No, that's not it. That is not it. Okay. So, is this it? Okay, so this is it. Now, this is the explanation of dismissal from Judge Stanton. Okay, he basically calls her a loon. Okay. Plaintiff Charlene Latham, a Texas resident, filed his pro se complaint alleging that the defendants conspired to violate her rights. Although the complaint lists other individuals as plaintiffs, only Latham signed the complaint or submitted a request to proceed without prepayment of fees, that is, in forma pauperis. The court grants Latham leave to proceed the in forma pauperis in this matter, but dismisses the complaint for reasons set forth below. The court must dismiss an in forma pauperis complaint or portion thereof that is frivolous, malicious, or fails to make a claim on which relief may be granted, or cease monetary relief from a defendant who is immune from such relief. So does that mean that they were immune from everything that she was, filing about? Does that mean these plaintiffs were immune from that? Immune from everything? A claim is frivolous when it lacks an arguable basis, either in law or in fact. Okay, so he's just basically throwing shit out there. I mean, if she had evidence, holy crap. And it's specifically mentioning Les Wexner. After misappropriating Leslie Wexner's money to pay for the settlement, Jeffrey Epstein devised a scheme of revenge and recovery of the money by targeting the plaintiffs for drugging and trafficking the children for continued abuse at his various orgies around the world, where he was paid large sums of money by elite attendees of the salacious events, and then used the money from abusing the plaintiffs to repay his debt to Wexner. Well, excuse me here? The statutory provision governing appearances in federal court allows two types of representation: that by an attorney admitted to the practice of law by a government regulatory body, and that by a person representing himself. Generally, a person who is not an attorney may not represent anyone other than himself in federal court. Bullshit. Because in the Constitution it says counsel. It doesn't say who the counsel has to be. It doesn't say anything about having to be licensed attorneys, for God's sake. So, and that's per the Constitution. Now we could talk about, we about laws and stuff that pretty much regulate all that, but that's not important right now. Even if the complaint set forth in meritorious claims that the plaintiff does not appear to be an attorney, and thus she cannot assert claims on behalf of others in this court. To proceed with civil action, a litigant must either pay $400 in fees or request authorization to proceed without prepayment of fees. So, which is it? Are they not allowing it to go forward because she's not paying the money, or because she's not a licensed attorney? Which is it? Because we have two different things here, what the judge is saying. And to be honest, I think the judge is just trying to cover his ass, because I think maybe the judge might be involved somehow. That's just me. Now, I could be wrong. But, and once again, Louis L. Stanton, U.S. District Court Judge. So, and if you guys want any of these files, I can email them to you because I have them. Then who is he working for? We have a right to file a grievance. Absolutely. But the grievance was kicked back from the chief judge, saying it had to go to an appeals court clerk. So this, now I'm going to use some language here, and if it offends people, I apologize. But it's a clusterfuck, and that's exactly what it is. It's a massive clusterfuck. They're trying to screw the people that they screwed over in the first place. And now we're seeing everything come out in the media. And I wanted to bring up those names because a lot of those names we're seeing now. So, okay. So I'm going to pull this up here. I'm surprised Hawk hadn't been up yet. Let me text him, see if he's coming up. So I'm just saying, there's okay, Hawk will not be able to make it because I guess he had flooding going on. But he said he will be live later. So I do want to pull this up real quick. Let me enlarge this. And this is what link that Lisa was talking about. This isn't the link she sent me, but I know what it was about. Statement from President Joe Biden on providing clemency for nearly 1,500 individuals on home confinement and pardons for 39 individuals convicted of nonviolent crimes. America was built on the promise of possibility and second chances. As president, I have the great privilege of extending mercy to people who have demonstrated remorse and rehabilitation, restoring opportunity for Americans to participate in daily life and contribute to their communities, and taking steps to remove sentencing disparities for nonviolent offenders, especially those convicted of drug offenses. That is why today I'm pardoning 39 people who have shown successful rehabilitation and have shown commitment, making their communities stronger and safer. I am also commuting sentences of nearly 1,500 people who are serving long prison sentences. many of whom would receive lower sentences if charged under today's laws, policies, and practices. These commutation recipients who were placed on home confinement during the COVID-19 pandemic have successfully reintegrated into their families and communities and have shown that they deserve a second chance. I will take more steps in the weeks ahead. My administration will continue reviewing clemency petitions to advance equal justice under the law, promote public safety, support rehabilitation, reentry, and provide meaningful second chances. So my question is, what exactly are the terms going to be of what are these people going to have to do to receive that? Because you know the big guy, it's always this for that, right? It's always some kind of quid pro quo. So he said it was 39, right? 39 people. So let's do the inverse of that, which would be 93. And he also said 1,500. So let's look at 1,500. I haven't even looked at that one yet. So let's see here. And let's do the inverse of that, which would be 51. So let's see here. All right, so let's see here. Let's see if there's any from today, and it doesn't appear to be. But now here's where I was talking about the Uranium One stuff earlier, right? Number 39, the 39 people specifically, right? Would it blow your mind if I told you Barack Obama has been to North Korea and perhaps there now? Why did his administration do so little to slow their nuclear and missile capabilities? Who feeds North Korea with strategic intel? Iran? What was the deal done with Iran under Barack Obama? Why was the deal sealed under top secret classification? Why wasn't Congress notified? Why, after Barack Obama left office, all of a sudden North Korea has nukes and the tech to miniaturize for payload delivery within the U.S.? What about the NSA, CIA, and DI, I think is Director of Intelligence, all confirming tech won't be in place for 5+ years, statements that were made in 2016. Why is all of this relevant? What does it tell you? Big picture is rare. Okay, now if we go to number 93, HRC is just a puppet, and the goal to take her down. Her minders are the real kingpins. Correction, HRC was a puppet, but her strings were recently cut. Now she's on her own fighting for her life. Okay. Now if we go to the inverse, well, let's go to 1,500 first. All right, access kills. POTUS in good spirits today. Morning strolls are refreshing. 2.5 hours. That's kind of odd, isn't it? I've watched, as in the inverse of that, which is 51, I've watched as society has been effectively addicted to MSN, apps, social media, games, music, all propaganda. And the moment you try to open anyone's eyes, you are shunned, being dumbed down, weakened, and groomed for passivity and stupidity through food and their addictions, like calf, literally being fattened for slaughter. And it's funny because they were talking about, RFK's been talking about kind of the same thing over the last couple of weeks. Let's see. And with the race war propaganda and Pizzagate possibility, I became suicidal because I can't stand that no one will open their eyes and are being manipulated hard. We were just talking about not Pizzagate specifically, but something similar, with Diddy and Epstein, right? Bear with me now. I hope with all my good heart that Trump is going to make good on his promise to make America great again and clean the swamp. I've been thinking about joining the Navy for Corpsman Greenside, and I would love to serve under a Trump administration if he really does clean swamp. We'll try to join regardless. No openings for Corpsman right now, though. I hope that what O.P. Anon says is true. I will be praying for O.P. Anon and all who risk their lives for safety, that the Lord will guide them, and praying that what he does or says is true, and will be praying for spiritual edification of God for Trump and for his complete safety in all of this. The pieces are coming together for me. And if this is true, those working with him are absolute geniuses, because I would have never imagined that there would be any possible way to take the monster of corruption that has overtaken the country. Wow. Huh. Dear Patriot, we hear you. We hear all Americans such as yourself. The time has come to take back our great land. The time is now. Rest assured, POTUS is backed by the absolute finest people alive, who are all dedicated to the eradication of evil and corruption from the U.S./world. Find peace. God is with us. God bless, and be safe. The White House. Or White Hats, however you want to put it. And I just, thinking about that, look at Trump's cabinet that he picked. And that he's continuing to pick, by the way. I mean, let's think about that for a minute. We've got Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, who else? Pete Hegseth, and it looks like Kari Lake. I mean, look at this. I mean, think about this. POTUS is backed by the absolute finest people who are alive, who are all dedicated to the eradication of evil and corruption from the U.S./world. Doesn't that kind of fit right now? Huh. Wow. Imagine that. So, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, because those were pretty specific numbers. Pretty specific. So, I hope everybody got a little bit of something out of today. I really do. And like I said, my email is listed on the About section on my channel. If you want the files from the 1953 estate, just email me and I will email them back to you. And also, I also have the arrest records from Florida when Epstein was arrested. So if you guys want those, I can email those too. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I got to try and do a couple of things. It's going to hurt like a son of a bitch, but I still got to try to do it. So with that, Godspeed. Until next time. Later, folks.